remembering that this thing comes with a pre-installed catalyst and a weapon slot. I was going to say a pre-installed weapon slot, that makes no sense. The 300 days played login reward, the Zenistar, is the second login reward weapon. The first being the Azuma, which was the 100 day, and the next one is 500 days? And it's a rifle, is what the 500 day is going to be. But until then, the 300 day Zenistar. Remembering, this is days played, not days consecutively played, so let's claim this and go have a look. Unfortunately, when you hold it, it's backwards. This is a great start, because that's the front of it, and that's the back of it. I don't know if it's been put this way, so when you're using it, you get to see it, or what, but when you're actually in the arsenal and holding it, it's backwards. There's 130 heat damage though, and it has 25% status, but only 5% crit. What does it come with polarity wise? Please, oh yes, a V. That's good, because primed pressure point, primed flow, primed fury, which is, what was it? The 200 day login reward? Which obviously you would have if you now have this. Yeah, that's very, very useful. And this is actually classed as a heavy blade weapon. And it's a V, so rending crane. It's the only stance that fits. But being a heavy blade, that's not good. That puts it up against the war. Which, yeah, I literally did that yesterday. But, yeah, that's got more damage. As soon as you start using it, it becomes painfully obvious that the biggest, just hugest downside to this thing is its attack speed. It is just way too low, especially considering the party piece of this is when you charge it, it throws that disc out of the middle, and that has this whole effect we'll get into a little bit more in a second, well, a minute or two. But considering how long you have to play it to get a hold of this, the fact that it takes so long to charge it's a huge problem with this weapon. I kind of wish that maybe its charge was quicker than other weapons, but its actual swing rate was a bit slower. Then its attack speed wouldn't have been a problem, but because it is so slow, throwing Prime Fury on this made pretty much no difference. It made it a lot more usable, but just not usable enough because that charge attack is very important. But of course, it kind of depends what elemental combo you get or you put on this, because I kind of ran around with Blast on it because it was fun to watch the enemies fall over, but it turned it into a pretty useless actual melee weapon. Great for the little guys, pretty useless for the heavies. Taking every single mod off this simply for the sake of charged attacks will throw this thing on the floor. Actually, I can't, I'd have to charge it up to get it back. And anybody who walks into this thing you throw on the floor will be affected by it. This is an unranked, unmodded weapon right now. I have absolutely nothing on it. I took everything off because, well, there's a reason for that we'll get into. But this is insanely useful. But as you'll notice, it's not exactly 100% efficient. Enemies are running through it and not being attacked by it. But most are being killed by it, and these are just level 20 enemies. I didn't upgrade them at all. And I found this so useful. It was just insanely useful. And it's even more useful when you use it to block doorways or just put it somewhere you know an enemy's going to come past because they'll run over it. And this is why I was running Blast on this, because it knocks them over. You put Radiation on, they'll hit it, turn around and start attacking their teammates. You put Gas on it, it'll gas them, it'll do whatever elemental combo you put on will be transferred to this thing. But again, its biggest downside is the fact that you have to do a charged attack to actually throw it out. The reason I'm running this blank, empty, whatever, is I want to see, when doing a charged attack, if primed reach will in fact increase the radius of that. Because they've basically got to be inside of it to get it to work. So I'm just going to go into upgrade. It's in here somewhere, there it is. Throw in primed reach by itself. Draw in some enemies and see if that has in fact... Come on, throw it. Because visually, it looks about the same. And this is kind of, I wouldn't say annoying me, but I really do want to know if I've really just dropped the ball there. You've got to charge attack to bring the thing back, then charge attack to throw it back out. And I'm going to use this doorway here as kind of a test. And wow, okay, halfway up the hill they were affected by that, which... yeah, that's actually an increase in its range, though visually it's not, which is really good to know considering I have primed reach in there, so any reach mod will in fact work on this thing. But when it came to the build for this, I did form it 3 times, as I say, 2 Vs and a dash. The dash is so you can have an elemental combo over here. I didn't go for the dual stat mods because I went for the body count, which is insanely useful for keeping that combo counter going for as long as possible. And I threw on Weeping Wounds, which is basically the blood rush for status. I have got Life Strike on here. I did kind of play with Spoiled Strike, which is plus 100% melee damage, but it slows it down so much. But the elemental combo can of course be changed to whatever you want. As I say, I just threw Blast on this for complete hell of it. You can very easily turn that to gas or anything else that you particularly want on here. It depends what faction you're going up against or what the elemental is. Hence, I only put 1 dash on, leaving the other one, because if you do want to throw Blast on, it's a D, not a dash, which means it wouldn't fit that well. But despite all of its bad sides, this is actually quite fun, simply because you can literally stand here and do that. And this is where I'm hoping primed reach works, because despite the fact that its range has increased, I mean, you can see it ends here, but it's knocking them over here, so primed reach has to work on this. It's the visuals that don't seem to work. That is why I decided I'm going to leave it in, but visually there is absolutely no change. And these guys are 140, and this is actually taking them out. Now, I cannot find a timer for this. It just seems once you throw it out, it pretty much just stays there until you draw it back by doing another charged attack, which I am not doing while this guy is still... oh, you know what? Go away. Say 2 or 3 hits with the melee weapon versus leaving this thing out and completely annihilating them. This could actually be the most useful melee weapon in a long time. It's just a shame it's so many login days to get a hold of it.